Thank you so much, UPA, for having me. Standing on this stage at Piccolo Teatro Strehler, I'm reminded about the theater classes that I took as a teenager. I was always fascinated about the magic that happened backstage. It took a whole ensemble of costume designers, makeup artists, lighting technicians to bring a story to life. And this, I think, illustrates the collaborative nature of technology. Every innovation is the product of the collaboration of a diverse talent pool, UX designers, data scientists, and its adoption relies on everyone, the tech practitioners and leaders like yourselves. My name is Anne-Laure, and I lead the AI go-to-market for South Europe at Google Cloud. In the 20 minutes that we have together, I'll first share some perspective on AI. Then I'll give some concrete examples of how companies are already using the technology to accelerate their go-to-market. And finally, I'll leave you with some pointers on how you as leaders can, address this technology. I hope that, yes, amazing. So just a little context. AI, at its core, is a technology that can spot patterns, make predictions, and learn from mistakes. AI is not new. Autopilot systems for planes have used it since the 2000s, as well as spell checks, as you see on the screen, and spam filters. At Google, actually, we've been working on AI for over a decade. In 2012, we actually trained computers to recognize cats on YouTube videos, a seemingly not important feat, but actually our very first venture into ML. In 2016, we published for the first time our AI principles that outline how we think about AI, both boldly and responsibly, and how we work with others in that regard. And the same year, we published the Transformer. We invented the Transformer architecture. Anyone heard about Transformer? It's basically the architecture that most LLMs, large language models, are based on today. And we've made great progress since with our platform and our Gemini models. The reason why we're so focused on AI is because we're convinced that it can help solve some of the world's toughest challenges. And I'll give you just one example of that. Protein structures. They're the building blocks of life. They're key to cure diseases and fight antibiotic resistance. But finding and predicting the exact structure of a protein is very long and costly. It can take years of research. Google DeepMind, the AI lab at Google, invented an AI-powered protein mapping tool called AlphaFold. AlphaFold is so fast that it helped map 200 million proteins like the ones you see on the screen. And they've estimated that it saved about 1 billion years of PhD time. And it's used by millions of researchers in the world. And we actually recently published AlphaFold 3, which addresses the structure of all biomolecules, including DNA and RNA. So it's probably paving the way for more innovation around biorenewable material and more resistant crops. So I'm very excited about that. So that's AI. I think it's clear for everyone. But the question I get is, how does generative AI change the game? How does it impact my business? Well, I think for me, Gen AI, it's much more than a chatbot. The key difference is that these large language models, LLMs, they're pre-trained models, and they help your team avoid some of the work that's normally associated with predictive AI. So traditionally, you would need technical teams gathering, cleaning data, and then selecting and optimizing the attributes depending on the model performance. But with generative AI, your teams can build MVPs in a matter of hours, not months. So for me, the message is very clear. It helps break down barriers, make access to data and insights in an easier way. And it's not a technology thing. It's actually being quicker to the market in the business context. So now let's see how some customers are already using this technology to accelerate their business. I'll give just a few examples. I wouldn't have time to go through all of them. I'll give some concrete examples of how companies are making their products more accessible and searchable, how they optimize marketing effectiveness, and how they enhance customer interactions. So one of the first quick wins we've seen with Gen AI, especially in the retail and the tourism industries, is around product catalogs or hotel listings. Gen AI is actually a super powerful tool to automatically categorize product information, generate new attributes, translate product descriptions in other languages, and personalize product pages for your audience. So it's obviously helpful to optimize your SEO presence. It's helpful if you want to commercialize products to new markets faster. And it's more than that. The CEO of Maison du Monde, a French furniture company that implemented this on its catalog, says that it gives a supplement of soul to its catalog. So I really like this expression. We're also helping companies have their products be searched and discovered easier online. So I hate to brag, but I think that at Google, we know a thing or two about search. Here you have an example of retailer Macy's, American retailer Macy's, that implemented our solution called Vertex AI Search. And in this animation, you see someone looking for a long sleeve, short baby shower dress. That's actually a pretty complicated query when you think about it. Long sleeve, short baby shower dress. And actually, the results are pretty relevant to the query. So if you are looking for a Google-grade search experience on your website, whether you're in retail, telco, or in the news, don't hesitate to reach out to me and let's have a talk after the event. Another interesting set of use cases around optimizing marketing effectiveness. We've seen huge interest from advertisers and agencies to see how Gen AI can make their process faster in creation, activation, and measurement. I'll give you a very concrete example of what can be done with a very simple demonstrator that we built based on Google Cloud technology. And when choosing about this example, I thought, I'm in Italy, and your beautiful country is the best in the world for coffee and for tennis players. And given that Mr. Lavazza is speaking later today, I thought, well, let's take the amazing partnership between Jannik Sinner and Lavazza, and let's assume I'm a community manager and I want to generate some social media posts around this great partnership. I will basically just copy-paste the information that's here on this website that's in English, that's in Italian, I mean. I understand a little bit, but unfortunately, I cannot speak fluently yet, but I'm working on it. So thank you for bearing with me in English. So yeah, let's do this. I'll copy. So I'll put this in this, again, it's a very simple demonstrator, but based on Google Cloud Vertex platform, and the Gemini models are behind the scenes. I want to work on a campaign about the partnership with Jannik Sinner. I'm literally pasting the information. I'm targeting 20 to 30 years old in English. Let's check out LinkedIn posts, maybe a press release. It won't do all the job, but it's a good basis, and then I can iterate on it. And let's generate. Let's see if the Wi-Fi works correctly here. Otherwise, I have a backup. So again, behind the scenes, this is calling Gemini, the models that we have built that are multimodal, that are state-of-the-art models. So here are some examples. Oh, I like that. Game, set, and a Lavazza for the win. I like it. You have different versions. Seems pretty, it seems to resonate pretty nicely with the key themes around this partnership. I even have emoticons, that's really great. Let's look at the press release. A hot partnership. I like it. Dynamic duo. Yeah, perfect blend. I like it. I think that's pretty useful. I can iterate from now on. This can probably help marketing teams create better, more precise briefs with the agencies. To generate images, we've had some people working with our image generation model to create mood boards. So for example, this is what I just tested before. I'm asking for a transparent cup of coffee with Lavazza logo written on it, next to a tennis ball. Both are on the floor of a tennis court, and you can see tennis players playing in the background. And this is what was generated. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it can be a nice mood board, again, as a basis for a campaign. So very simple example, but just to show how this can be a good basis for campaigns and collaboration and iteration with your agencies. So let's go back to the presentation. I mentioned how your products can be found in an easier way, how potentially you can optimize your marketing efficiency. Another set of use cases we've worked on is around enhancing customer interactions, which can be both pre-sale to inspire your audience and generate sales, or in the post-sale experience to handle post-sale support. A leader in cosmetics company Ulta actually partnered with Google Cloud to implement a personalized product recommendation and also conversational support to their 30 million loyalty members, which resulted in top-line growth and also enhanced customer support. At Google, we're also using GenAI for our own operations. For customer support, we have been using contact center AI for a number of years now. We have AI-empowered tools to help real-life agents be more productive and be more satisfied at work. We're also using GenAI to understand and cluster the support tickets coming from our enterprise customers. We use that to create friction reports that we share with our product managers, which helps with continuous improvements. So those are, again, some examples of how this technology is already put at work, already in production in the enterprise context. So now I want to tell you a few words about our approach to AI, because I often get the question, well, since you open sourced the Transformers architecture and it's used by a lot of LLMs in the market, what really sets Google apart? How do you differentiate? And that's a fair question. I think it comes down to 4 main things. The first one is that we really aim to bring the best of Google research in a platform. So our AI platform within Google Cloud, it's called Vertex. And we bring all our expertise around search, Google Shopping, in the platform. Just one concrete example of that, we're the only ones who can provide grounding with Google Search. It means that you can cross-check the output of the model with verifiable information on the internet. And it's something pretty key to make sure that you avoid hallucinations, which can happen with this type of models. So that's the first part. We bring the best of Google in the platform. The second one is that we try to be both bold and responsible. We have sizable AI safety teams that work hard on the topic, and we don't keep it for ourselves. We try to share as much best practices as possible with the ecosystem. The third aspect is that we bring choice at every level. Whether on the infrastructure model or the model level, I mentioned Gemini, our state-of-the-art model, but we also believe that customers like you should have a choice between all types of models. Maybe not one model won't address all your use cases, so it's nice to have that choice in your platform. So in Vertex, you have access both to Gemini, but also to open source models like Mistral, commercial models like Anthropic, and we really believe that you need that choice. The last aspect is that we're in this together. Those are pretty new technologies still for the enterprise context, and it's a matter of collaborating and helping you and giving you the techniques to make sure that it brings success for what's important to you. Before finishing this presentation, I also thought about leaving some pointers or recommendations. Maybe that's a bit pretentious of me to talk about recommendation, but let's say that I'm fortunate enough to speak with decision makers that have started having some success with the technology, and I find that they generally do these 5 things really well. The first one is making sure you empower an AI, you favor an AI learning culture in your company. GenAI is actually a great excuse to have everyone gathered and learning together, regardless of the reporting lines and the level of seniority. Some C-level told me that they make a point to share with their teams when they completed an online training, or start a meeting by sharing something cool that they've tested or something that they learned recently. So role modeling the growth mindset, I think, is very important. My second recommendation is don't hesitate to ask and challenge your team about their platform strategy. A lot of tech enthusiasts have spent a lot of time comparing models and deep diving on models and which model is the best, which is interesting, but really in the enterprise context, I think you need to have a platform vision, a platform with choice, as I mentioned, which is going to help with governance and make sure that the use cases are actually put in production and monitored and tracked over time. I personally believe that our platform, Vertex, is the best in the market, But the main point is make sure you have a platform strategy. The third piece of advice is, it's great to encourage bottom-up initiatives, and a lot of the Gen AI adoption will come from, bottom-up. But don't hesitate, don't forget to focus on your key strategic initiatives. I've seen a lot of companies mapping 100 different use cases, but start from your strategic priorities and think about how AI can enable to get there faster. My fourth recommendation is, don't forget that it's not all magic. Sometimes it looks like it's magical, but it does require some new technical skills. You might have heard about prompt tuning, prompt engineering. Typically, the input that you give to the model has a large influence in the performance of the model. So it all requires new skills, so it's important to keep that in mind. And the good news is that we're here to help. And this is a good segue to my last recommendation, partner up. I think it's important to work with partners, technology partners, that can provide best practices, hands-on support. That's what we do with customers we work with. And just like I mentioned in my introduction, just like theater and all the people working backstage, they're amazing. Tech innovation is also a team sport, so that's an important point. Before I leave the stage, I wanted to leave you with a final piece of inspiration. I'll show you just a quick 1-minute video about how our research teams are thinking about AI assistance. So if you can roll the clip, I encourage you to look at that and think about how in your enterprise context, you can bring the future in the present for your customer. So we can roll the clip.
What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
What can I add here to make this system faster?
Adding a cache between the server and database could improve speed.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
All right, give me a band name for this duo.
Golden Stripes.
Nice. Thanks, Gemini.
Thank you so much for having me. Grazie mille. Enjoy the rest of the presentation.